Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Create a Seamless B2B webinar. First things first, I would like to inform you that you have been muted for an uninterrupted webinar experience. You can raise your hand or type any questions or comments in the chat box. You would have time to ask your questions at the end of the presentation. This webinar will help you build a comprehensive digital commerce strategy with a focus on developing customer relations. I hope you're as excited as us for this enriching learning experience. Without further ado, let's get started. I take extreme pleasure in introducing our speakers of the webinar, Dan Anderson and Mauro Buffatti. Dan is the Head of Strategy and Solution Director of Digital Commerce for Columbus. Dan has over 30 years of industry experience in business development, sales, and digital strategy. Mauro Buffatti is the Customer Success Manager for Intershop Communications. Mauro has over 27 years of industry experience in software and e-commerce areas. I would now request our speakers to begin the presentation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dan and from Columbus, and beside me I have Mauro. In this digital world, I have Mauro beside me. Agenda for today is that I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the B2B challenges that we're seeing, and hopefully Mauro will join us and talk about some of the customer challenges and also some approaches for actually to success. And then both of us will talk about the solution customer portal. And if we start today, we also live in a constant change mode, and B2B is not accepted. There's a lot of facing challenges that's going on for B2B companies, and we're seeing we are moving from channels. Our channels are changing, moving from a physical to a digital world. We are seeing that our devices are changing from computers to mobile. We are seeing that our geographical market are changing, from nearby to global markets. We're seeing that our competitors are changing. Our partners are changing. We're going from well-known competitors to marketplaces such as Amazon and Alibaba. Our offer is changing from product to services, and it also may be that our business models are changing. We are forced to challenge our own business models, going from maybe a partner model to owning communication with the end customer. And it's also maybe that our old sales models may be outdated. And all this requires a speed and a flexibility and innovation, but also courage to do the required changes. Then we have the customers. The customers are changing. Their buying behavior, their needs, their requirements. And there was a time when the buyers contacted us early and asked for information. That time does not longer exist. Companies also meet new decision makers from a new generation, and they are born with mobile and always connected. We're also seeing that the customer expects to receive the same information in all channels they use to make their purchasing decisions, and preferably packaged according to their needs. So the expectation of B2B buyers are to experience a buying process that is seamless, transparent, and simple, just like they do in the ordinary B2C experience. And companies' job is no longer maybe to convince customers to buy, it's rather to help them to buy. Then we have 2020, and we meet the unexpected. And 2020 is certainly a turning point for a lot of B2B companies. It's for you and for me as well. And the COVID-19 pandemic has led many B2B customers to buy things online that they wouldn't have done in the past. Complicated and expensive products. And social distancing have really shifted the balance of human and digital engagement in the buying process, and really from roughly equal to like majority in digital today. We'll see changes towards offering a lot more self-service options for existing customers. So B2B companies are now under even more pressure to ramp up their transformation efforts and do that rapidly in order to deliver those maybe complex and pricey products and take care of existing customers. And yes, we see this kind of acceleration in change in many ways today, not at least of the numbers signing up to this webinar, but also in the kind of questions and in the dialogues we have with customers today. And some start from a very low level in their digital journey, and some start far better equipped to face a new reality for sales marketing, for sales and marketing, and meeting the customer expectations as of today. And so this is some of the challenges we're seeing for the company. And hopefully Mauro is there and also can talk about the expectation of the customers.
Here I am. Sorry about the technical problem. Speaking about the unexpected, right?
Yes, exactly. Thank you, and good love that you are there, Mauro.
Sorry for that. Okay, hello everybody. Sorry, I missed the window of saying hello before. But yes, Dan described the challenges that the companies are facing. And we would like to show also the other side of the coin and show also what are the challenges that the customer experience, because that's the key point, that's the key attention that we need to have in order to be sure that we respond in the right way and that we can benefit by solving the problem that the customer has. If and you go to the next slide.
Tell me when I should change slide maybe now, Mauro.
Yeah, change next. So let's see the customer. Who is the customer? Who is the final user of your machine, of your products? Let's take a case of Bruce Digger. This is a handsome guy working for Skybuilder company. He works on the field, is a CMO or Chief Machine Operator, and his job is to make sure that everything work as smoothly as possible, that all the machines are working and that the construction or whatever work is supposed to do proceed without any incidents. And this is his most focus. This is the highest of his priorities. And one day something happens, a machine stops. So what happens now? Next. So in Bruce Digger needs different kind of services or parts or products to be able to do his job, right? He needs the actual machine or plant or whatever technology is necessary for him to work. He needs consumables or parts that has to be replenished periodically to keep the machine operating. It needs wear and spare parts, so it needs to be sure that when a piece of the machine has to be changed, is available. And not only that, but it needs services, technical services, training, and all kind of services on the field. And there are three main factors that drive the needs of Bruce Digger. And one would say that the first one is price, but that's not always true, quite the opposite. The most important is time. And that is because when something happens that disrupts his job, Bruce has need to have a solution in the fastest way as possible. Because every minute, every hour, every day that the plant is down or the machine doesn't progress as it should is time that is lost by your customer. And manufacturers very seldom has, luckily, but very seldom have a view on the amount of money that indirectly downtime costs to their customers. Price is of course important, and quality is important as well, but price and quality without the right time are useless. So we need to take care of the time aspect for Bruce Digger. So what should I do now? Next. So the landscape for the supply chain is very complicated. There are so many different ways that can connect the manufacturer with Bruce Digger. It can purchase parts and services through distributor and then retailers, or service partners that can come and maybe fix the machine, but and buy the spare parts with them. But then there is still the option to buy the spare part directly by the manufacturer, or go through wholesalers and pure online digital players to get this part, and same as well as marketplaces. So those are all different ways, and the most important part is for Bruce to understand at first which channels to use. And this is not the easy choice, and of course everyone has the major connection with the manufacturer, so we should try to make the connection as more direct as possible. Next. At the same time, even if we if Bruce identify the right partners, then there are so many different contacts. How should I make sure that I get this part, that I get this service? Should I call my sales contact? Have I ever been in contact with my sales agent? Or should I call the customer service? Should I call the technician that was here last time? Should I look into the documentation and try to fix and to solve the problem by myself? So managing those channels as well, each one used to have a different touch point for the company. So there will be one mobile number for the sales agent, or there was the green number for the customer service. The technician is another one, and this is still taking time and frustration for Bruce. And especially if you take in consideration worldwide installation and time zones, can make this connection to the selling partners very, very complicated. Next. At the same time, Bruce has the same type of problems on the inside of his own internal organization, because he has to refer to the plant manager or construction site, but maybe that's not the same person that can authorize the purchase of a service. It needs to coordinate with the machine operator to know when and what happens and when it can be changed, when the machine can be stopped to replace the defective part. It has to coordinate with the technician and the service to make sure that everyone is in place in the right time and the right address and so on. And all those things, again, an additional burden that puts between Bruce Digger and the resolution of his problem. Ideally, the provider should help also with those tasks as well. So not just saying, hey, here is the product, here's the price, but here is how you can purchase it in the fastest way as possible, even including your own internal processes. Next. Of course, in B2B, you do not just go online, find a part and buy it and have it delivered at home. It's not like that, even though buyers expect this one, but the purchases are articulated in 4 different phases. Discover, when I know more about the product and I know more about the possible brands and features that are available. Explore is when I'm trying to explore the right solution. Buy is the process between when I choose the solution to when I actually purchase it. And then there is a big part to this after sales, what happens afterward. Next. So in the purchasing process, the customer want to be advised optimally and individually. So what is important for his situation, his machine. And in this stage, manufacturers are making a lot of effort to guide the customers. At the same time, also in the after sales, when the customer is already known and there is more data available, the advising the customer should be easy. But there is a lot of potential that has not yet been taken account by many of the manufacturers in how to move to transition smoothly between those phases and make sure that everyone supports and reinforces the next one. So what should we do? What are the things that is possible to do to solve, to easy the life of Bruce Digger? Next. The manufacturer needs to integrate and use all the information about customer relationship and customer situation to offer optimized service that make the company, the manufacturer, a valuable partner for the customer. So you need to provide all support to all those phases to make the experience nice, smooth, pleasant, and perceive the manufacturer at an added value because he's solving the problem the customer has. So you need to provide the recommendation and inspiration at the beginning when knowing what the product are doing and what the company is doing. It needs to be best consultant to start not from what we produce, but what problems do we solve for you. Explain why your product is the best choice compared to the competitors. And when you find the right type of product, you need to provide support to tailor that product in the best way for you, providing a smooth experience, like adding configuration option, making all the data available and transparent for the customer to understand which products, and answer quote requests quickly in a very nice digitalized way. And at the same time, for the supporting the buy system is not just to have two silos with product on one side, new products on one side, and spare parts on another side, but it should try to find new way to sell to come close to the needs of the customer. For instance, changing the operation model, not just sell, but rent, sell products as a service, or expand the service business and make it contextual to the sell of a new machine. So providing training, providing already plans with maintenance, integrate maintenance logs on the website as well. And that leads to the after sales. If you know the customer, you know what products, you know how the customer is using the machine, then you can leverage all those informations to provide a tailored and customized after sales, where you can cross-sell between all your departments, spare parts, services, again, consumables, and provide the recommendation even on how to optimize even more the machine. Like, look, you are using this. If you buy this kind of tool, your efficiency of your machine will be much better, and you will save this amount of money. And this leads to a nice experience. The manufacturer is listening to me, is answering to my problem, and these are at the end generate a virtuous cycle, because the next time a machine has to be purchased, or then of course I will go, Bruce Digger will go to the customers, to the suppliers, sorry, that simplify his life.
But Mauro, let's say that I'm a manufacturer. I'm selling through like a dealer or a partner or a distributor, and then I usually don't have like knowing the pain points of the customer. How should I get them?
Yeah, that is a typical struggle, because the manufacturer lose contact with the customers when the dealer is in between, and nobody wants to get rid of the dealer, but it's isolated. So it's very important that the manufacturer reach the end user to understand more of those pain points. It means focus group, contact, provide easy access on the manufacturer site to understand what is happening, analyze the data. Today, many machines have IoT data that is sent back to the manufacturer. So use this data, convert this data into money, by analyzing what is happening and get in contact with the customer. This not always will give you very important insight, but also will strengthen the tie between the machine operator or the end user and the brand and the manufacturer. So it doesn't matter from which dealer the product is purchased, because I'm having a relationship with the manufacturer. Every Bruce Digger is experiencing it every day. Let's say an example with the iPhone, right? You don't probably even remember where you purchased an iPhone, but you establish a personal relationship with Apple, with services, and with use statistics and all this information. So it's important to reach out personally to the end users. So how to do all of that? Let's see what is the approach to get to a situation like the one that we envisioned. Next. So we can say that producers or manufacturers have different levels of digital maturity, and those are progressive steps. So it's important for you to focus a bit and now understand where your company is in this evolution cycle. So the first step is to be completely reactive. You provide information about what you're doing on the website, and that's the typical first step, and you will find a button like contact us to know more. But you understand, this is just the very beginning. It's just the teasing for the customers. This is very long from the solving the problem. So the next step that is more common is to have a proactive approach. That means you provide an online shop. Here is my catalog. Please go in and buy. And it's still better than the informational site. But there is a step more, that is the seamless. So have a connected commerce. And connected commerce means focus on lead generation and start blending in the information I get on the machine, on how to purchase a new machine, and how to sell service and after sale about that. So we can say that this the next generation commerce, or the evolution of the plain spare parts web shop. Then comes the very important part. When you're ready with the step 3, step 4 and 5 are increasingly important and are becoming necessary for manufacturer to address. The step 4 is to be individually proactive or realize a customer portal, and that means that you focus on the customer and you treat each of them or each user of the customer differently. So you provide information that are relevant to that user. So you show assortment for that machine, you solve the problem of that specific machine, of that specific customer and user. So if you have the accounting, you need to present all the documents that are needed for the accounting guy of your customer. If you have the machine operator, you present different services, different content. And the next step, the latest step, is to be individually predictive. And we will look into that straight away, but it means not only have tailored services for each user, but also use the data that you gather by bringing all your services together in a customer portal to do predictive maintenance, to solve problems for the customer even before he realizes that he has that.
Mauro, I had a question here for you, but I think I will spare that to a question section later on. As we had some technical issues in the beginning, I see that on the clock that we will take a few more minutes over the actual time that we have said. So I hope that is fine with you. So we're coming down to like a solution, and this is where the major changes are happening. As Mauro have said, we are seeing a much more focus on like the existing customers and after sales business, and solving the rising problem of the current situation that we all are in. We see that we see a lot more like of questions, decisions, investments, and upcoming and ongoing projects in the area of customer portals. And a customer portal, it maps the buying process. It digitizes as a sales process. It supports companies in the after sales activities and the provision of digital service. And the customer portal should be to simplify, and the goal of the customer portal should be to simplify like the everyday work for customers, but also to improve efficiency at the side of the seller. And this is usually also the objectives that companies are aiming for when they are like investing in a customer portal today. We're seeing that it is about like increasing the service level, increasing the self-service possibility, and thereby strengthen the customer experience, increase customer engagement, and create this, we can call it like an addiction effect that customers can't be without. Keep them coming back to you all the time, so they are not going to this distributor, maybe in Asia or the marketplace. Create this addiction effect. And this will drive customer loyalty and increase the customer lifetime value. And we see that this becomes like the normal, and this becomes also a natural way to interact and an opportunity to increase contact with customers in all touch points. And this becomes like a relief for services and sales. And sales can more focus on being that maybe consultancy salesperson that maybe is a need for the customers in the future.
Yeah. So how would that look like? What kind of messaging should be there? I mean, it has to be proactive. It has to be communicating. Again, we like to have this digital butler that reminds us the important things and take care of it, requires our attention when it's needed. So the communication should come in a unified way through different parts of the partner of your company. With example like this, your maintenance contract is about to expire. Would you like to renew it? Or the excavator has a problem, because we see it with the IoT. Here, request a service technician from our local service department. Here is the number. Here is the cost of the intervention, and things like that. Or here we see that your order has been delivered. Follow up here, like you need to, I don't know, activate a warranty or book a training session or whatever is needed, or even internal processes, like your colleague has created a shopping cart about those spare parts and services. It requires your approval. So those are kind of smart, a proactive way to communicate information on the website.
So in the customer portal, we would like to increase sales self-service for everybody involved in the buying processes. And as Mauro said, that could like be the professional buyer, it could be the plant manager, it could be the machine operator. And also, as said before, preferably we want to address those individually. So a customer portal should meet all your customers' needs, and that is like, you should provide intuitive order experiences. It should be like a solution where it becomes so easy for me to create my order, reorder, get it approved. it should support support and relevancy. It should be like a quick and easy way to access the installation manuals, the tutorials, the contact persons of the company. Since no salesperson is guiding in the portal, it needs to guide and support the buying process and ensure that the information is extensive and relevant to the customer. So if I am that machine operator, I maybe have a dashboard where the information is extensive and relevant for me and my machines. And as Mauro said also, the interaction with the organization. I get that notification via my dashboard when to book that service. But then there should also be like time savers. It should be easy to look in the service calendar, find the time, book that service. And I should be able to do that when it's convenient to me, meaning 24/7. And then we should like provide customers with insights, include let them see like insights connected to the machines, to financial or from a partner perspective, and make them make the right decision because of the insights they get. And you also have to like adapt your portal for complexities. You will need to ensure that the customer portal is geared for all complexities, meaning contracts, quote, purchase orders, approvals, permission levels. And this may not be easy, but it should be your vision. And your vision is not something that you're building in one session. You should like split up this in phases, so it's gradually going towards your phases. And when you have your vision ready and you have started your preparation work, we see mainly two approaches that companies are taking today, moving towards a portal. One is actually, it's more like you maybe have your e-commerce solution up running today. You have your you have a login, and behind there you have my pages, my order history, etc. Starting with like just expanding that, making the order part more easy, putting in more information and more service in that area. That's a good start for a lot of companies and an easy way to start the customer portal. But we're also seeing that there is other kind of companies that have more ambitions and also have other kind of information that they want to spread to their users. And we're seeing that then we may be building like a framework, a presentation layer on top of our landscape of systems, where commerce maybe becomes one of several Lego bricks, and we expose our information and data into this framework. Because we should see the portal as a customer gateway to all our services and data. It could be customer information, it could be transaction data, it could be behavioral data. So to create real customer value, you should like expose that data and services to the customers and make them in charge of when to use it. With the data, we can and we should keep focus on capturing 360 view of the customers, because with the data we can really personalize the buying experience for the customers. And if we use all that data, we can better serve them and even anticipate their needs. And this will make you stand out from the competitors and create like this addiction effect mentioned before.
And this addiction you can experience in a frictionless and personalized way in all the device, whenever and wherever it may requested or initiated by a customer on any. So it doesn't has to be the website. It can be through the customer service, can be through a mobile app, can be through a device embedded on the machines, or any other way it is convenient. The customer portal offers a single point of contact, so all the logic is there, all the consistency or the access to the service is there, but this customer portal can be accessed by many different touch points. And every touch point has its own part is its own part of the puzzle, with providing its own data, its own interaction, its own processes, but they all work together as on the same set of rules and services and function and data that is provided on the customer portal. So each one of those pieces, for instance, could be a part of the portal, or can show a special view on a process that is defined on the portal. And it's also important the customer can transition to any one of those, so on those access points. So he sees a problem on the IoT and is transferred on the panel of the machine. It can see that issue when it puts on the mixed reality. It can then call the customer service that needs to be aware of what the customer is looking at, and that translates to, oh yeah, buy this part on the web. And this should be completely transparent to the customer. So let's see what is the next, the final level of maturity from the customer portal to the smart portal. If we have all this data, if we have centralized all possible interaction with your company, then we can use the data that we collected to actually generate money, to convert that into money. Here there are two very, very, very practical examples. One is reordering automatically consumables. So when the machine is running out of some kind of component, let's say the oil, maybe is a stupid example, but when the level is low, then automatically a new purchase order is produced in the online shop, and the machine informs the machine operator that then need to go into the portal and says, okay, buy it. So we are simplifying the life of the user in a nice way by interacting with him and preparing things for him before even he starts connecting to the site. So we already can generate refilling orders ready to be just accepted, or even sent automatically and ready to be approved by the machine operator on the top. And the same thing can happen on predictive maintenance. So we have all this data on how the machine behaves, the temperature, or the sensor that we have in the machine, and we can do estimation and say, look, if you keep using the machine in this way for this time, then we foresee that this spare part will need to be replaced next month. So instead of waiting for it to happen, we have here the offer. Here is the spare part. Here is the offer completed with the technician. We booked the technician for 1 month in advance, so you need just to say yes. And when this part will break, you will have this part already in the warehouse, and you will have the technician there. And this also opens to a complete new, different way of selling. Like you can sell spare parts with like insurance spare parts. So I reserve this in stock for you with this very low cost price because I know that this is going to break, but you are going to order it only when it actually breaks. So using this data gives a lot of possibilities to again, that is the key message, solve the problem for the customer even before he realizes it has those problems.
And Mauro, actually, I think we are down to like taking some final words and some takeaways. So one of the takeaway is, especially in the time we are in right now, is like plan your vision and execute continuously, because when the unexpected happens, you are not turning a ship in a second. We see that B2B manufacturers that have done their homework for years are in a much better fit when we are in the situation today. So I think that is one of the like takeaways regarding to the challenge we see today. and especially how to focus on the customer. And we also see that the portal usually relays on like 5 to 6 pillars, and each pillar creates a value, but together they create like this freedom for the customer. And it's about like making the order, information, service, support, insight, and make them available as great services to be used anytime and anywhere for the customers. And that will create an experience, and that will make the companies actually are able to do it, make them to be leader in their industries. And I think that is like a final word. And Mauro, do you have something more to add, or shall we go into a question section?
I think we can go in a question, but the sentence, the message, the key message is ask your customer, ask your customers and solve their problems. The rest will come from that.
So, Shedra, do we have any questions in the chat? And I'm sorry that it took a little bit longer time than expected, depending on the technical issues.
Yes, Dan. I see one question in the chat box. So they say this is very nice, but how much does it cost, and how big investment should I make?
Mauro?
Yeah, there is no official answer for that, because a customer portal, especially a smart portal, is never finished. This is an ongoing process that needs to be kept open, because the needs of the customer changes. And when you solve some problems, then you will get the last to solve some other problems. The important is that you do not try to do all of this at once. Focus on the topics that brings the most advantages in the short time. So focus on the biggest problem or the biggest opportunity, solve this with a micro project, capitalize, so start gaining or saving on that project, and then reinvest that. So do small and fast consolidated steps, and then act on that and keep the continuous growth and the evolution. But Dan, isn't that one the topic for the next webinar?
Yes, it is. So actually in 2 weeks, we're actually going deeper into customer portals. It will be me and be Robin, one of my colleagues here at Columbus. We are going down and talking more about increasing sales and how we can get revenue, but also focusing on how can we take the first steps or second steps and third steps to actually achieve and create the vision for the portal. So yes, Mauro, that's correct.
Thank you, Dan, Mauro, for an insightful session. We are actually receiving more questions, but I'm sorry, due to the technical issues we had in the beginning, I don't think we have enough time to take more questions. Thank you everyone for joining this session. You would be getting an email with the link to the recording of this webinar and also an invite for our next webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for your time. You find us also on LinkedIn, so you can contact us at any time if you want to send direct questions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to you all, and bye for now.